So we'll meditate for a few minutes.
I'm gonna take a nap.
Welcome everyone to Darulam Temple. Anyone new to meditation practice? Anyone new to Zen practice? Good, I don't have to do anything today. Does everybody know who you are or aren't? One Zen teacher said, anyone reading any books? Books on Zen? Books on meditation? Studying Buddhism? Something. And the most difficult book, most accessible though, Zen teacher like to call it this way, autobiography of yourself in the present moment. Inescapable yet challenging. So what does that mean? Present moment, autobiography. Any ideas? Like that. Yeah.
I think it means that your actions in the present moment are what write your story. Or and the story of you is all based off of the present and the actions, feelings, perceptions of that present moment.
Actions, feelings, and intentions in the present moment, right? Our story. Anyone else? Comment?
What's the question again? I didn't hear it exactly.
Oh, in this autobiography of yourself in the present moment. Oh, yes.
What does it mean?
Yeah, what does that mean? Anyone, how's everyone, we were born, right?
Right,
We have a past.
right,
Where is it?
in the past.
Non-existent.
In the present.
It's in the present.
It's in the present.
But we're creating it. In the future, where is that?
In the present.
In the future.
The present.
Oh, in the present.
There's future. I'm trying to catch up. Can't quite catch it.
Oh,
So in this absolute present moment, Zen would say, who am I? Or how am I manifesting this present moment? This absolute present moment. So there's two different aspects one could say to the present moment. There's the conventional present moment. Composed of our objectified experience of thoughts, feelings, emotions, sensations, perceptions, right? So, in the objectified present moment, I am ringing this with this stick. I am now hitting this metal round object, which is a bell, and then it is making a sound. That approach, that has nothing to do with the Zen absolute present moment. That's the relative mind objectifying as an object, something separate from a separate me, perceiver. Subject, object are separated, objectified. Stick on board. Absolute present moment absolute present time awareness, or one Tibetan Dzogchen teacher would call it the present moment that is the highway to the pristine mind, or to the unborn mind. In Zen is the mind that is beyond conceptualization, beyond objectification. It's just experience of pure sound. Experience of pure sound. Then, in that experience, actually, it's always the case. Our observation always comes afterwards. Afterwards, we go, oh, nice sounding bell. But there's something before nice sounding bell. It's just sound. So Zen meditation practice is about clarifying this relationship between self and other, so that there's a seamless relationship between this seemingly separate identity and what we experience. Have I confused everybody? No? Okay. Any comments? Questions?
How is it different from other Buddhism practices?
Like what other ones? That's a huge question. We got to be a little more specific.
I don't remember all the names off the top of my head, but Zen is one form of Buddhism, but some of the other schools, maybe I forget something that starts with the T. Then Mahayana is one, and Theravada, for example, that's a common one that we talk about here. The goal, or the what you just mentioned, is trying to see the relationship between some identity or some self and all of these other expressions. Right? So, how is Zen particularly different? Is it approach or is it goal?
Well, Zen is formed out of Mahayana Buddhism. So Mahayana Buddhism, well, it gets in a little complicated subjects, but Mahayana Buddhism has very central to its view many things, but very central, of course, is the way of the Bodhisattva, or the way of compassion, but also the idea of emptiness, or shunyata. But emptiness doesn't mean like this bowl is empty. Literally, shunya means empty. Shunya means like the empty bowl, shunya. But shunyata means the empty bowl that's full, or the emptiness that's full. It's a paradoxical statement. Then there are many views on this. It's outside the scope to get into, but that's a good example. I mean, the emptiness that's being talked about is empty of inherent existence, an inherent separate sense of self. There's no inherent separate identity. Easy to say. This is not an easy subject. So, in approaching the understanding of that inherent nature of things, this is intrinsic in things. It's not something we have to develop. It's the way things really are. So again, in Zen practice, it's really a deconditioning practice. we're removing the layers of our cravings and aversions and allowing things as they are to arise. And then we experience in that moment little tiny glimpses of this unconditioned source of things, or the unborn mind, or pristine mind. Sound good? Makes sense? In Mahayana Buddhism, these are, early teacher Nagarjuna wrote these expositions on the nature of mind and emptiness and things. Very difficult to read. Dalai Lama has commentaries and things. One wants to go into that mode of study. It's tons of stuff available now. I think more valuable just to, again, autobiography of oneself in the present moment will carry one into experiencing this very directly, much more user-friendly, more simple, more organic with our daily life experience.
Is that an actual book title?
Which one?
Autobiography of Self.
Yeah, I was thinking I was going to put it up on, I was going to print some and bind them and have them for sale on Amazon and have people then buy them, maybe 108 pages symbolic, and it would just be blank. People use them as a diary.
Only do ebooks. So.
Do an ebook. See, that's even funnier. Recycled. No paper. No paper, no writing, no linen. Autobiography of yourself in the present moment. But it's not so easy, like Pema Chodron, famous Buddhist teacher, she's very funny sometimes, and her seriousness, she's going how she had one very intense retreat one time, and as she says, she was halfway through the week-long or 10-day-long retreat. She realized that in her hamster mind was going so crazy. She'd probably written the equivalent of the novel War and Peace, which is 1,000 pages long. So we have this sense of this autobiography is overriding a lot. So that's why in Zen practice, how do we cut through this? Because everyone here is this the list for what we did yesterday. Oh, if I just changed what I did yesterday, then tomorrow when I see so and so, everything will be perfect and da 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 da. So Zen practice, body, breathing, and awareness. Everyone know how to breathe? Breathing? Completely aware of breathing. Abdominal breathing. When you're startled by something, your breathing doesn't get shut off. Yeah.
I forget to breathe sometimes.
Yeah, everyone forget to breathe sometimes.
I do all the time.
Yeah, see? Car cuts in front of you, breathing. Someone yells at you. So how come that happens? This body, mind, emotion, connection, stimulus. Again, yeah.
Oh,
Nothing, no.
my guess would be illusion of self.
Yeah, with things we think are separate, and yeah. So, body, breathing, and awareness, and stimuli. So, inhaling everything. In a sense. But in meditation, where awareness is wide open. Most of the day, we're in our modern world, we're hyper focused on something. These things make it worse, or the computers, or even we have to drive. We have to stay very, vigilant. So meditation, our even our sight is relaxed. We're gazing down. Oh, eyes open, yeah, close open, eyes open. It's a really scary movie. You can close them, but otherwise, eyes open. Crossing the streets better, eyes open. Ears are always open, right? And eyes are really always open because you're just looking at the back of your eyelids when you're closing. But you want them a little tiny bit open and really broad gaze. So if you were to hold your fingers out and move them, you would see your fingers moving. Not in narrow ways, but really. And something comes by, it's just coming by. You're not saying like, oh, wow, look at the bird, or even like as we hear now, oh my gosh, a siren. Just sound, just sight, just smell, taste, feeling, sensation, thinking, just allowing it to arise. No judgments, no jumping into the party and naming and stuff, or pushing it away saying, oh, I don't like that. Just allowing everything to be. Big, spacious awareness. Body, mind, awareness, spaciousness, more all-encompassing. So inhaling completely full, inhale, completely exhale. Deep abdominal relaxation on the exhale. We're not exhaling like losing our lower abdomen. Abdomen staying very open and strong on exhale. This is also done in Tibetan Buddhist practice. They call small vase breathing. Same in Zen also. Any questions? Everyone gets to experiment. Each person, we're all our own experiment. So if you're used to meditating eyes closed and try open for a little bit, see what happens. Usually chatterbrain goes less, sleepiness is less for most people. But just a tiny bit open, gazing at the floor. Any comments? Question? How's everyone's novel going? Actually, you know it's going well when you have the long novel and then you start to erase parts of it. One more awake, sleepy. Good books to read always are, in addition to your own empty autobiography, is Zen Mind, Beginner's Mind by Shunryo Suzuki. It's a great book. And they have there's several, 2 or 3 newer books taken from his talks and put into book form that are good also. He's the founder of San Francisco Zen Center in the 60s. There are many books available on Buddhism. Reading, it's endless. You could read if you could read a book a day, you would only barely be able to catch up with the new books being published each year. This is overwhelming, so don't do that. Better to take some of these really great books and read and reread them because they're so deep. Find what resonates with you and then read it and then read it again. Digesting is more important, really important. What does it really mean in our daily life? Any questions at all about Zen or Buddhism or practice? Anything? Yeah?
I was wondering about chanting.
Chanting.
Yeah, what's the benefit of that? I've read some science-based research on it.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty surprising.
It's our new religion. It's called neuroscience. Didn't believe it before, but oh wow, it actually changes things. So now I believe it. I'm still not aware of how it changes anything, but I believe it now. Right? It's okay. I mean, it's true. Chanting, yeah. So there's chanting, mantra, Tibetan Vajrayana Buddhism, like many mantras. We have, what do we have up on the walls here? There's like Chenrezig over there is Buddha of compassion, right? The white Chenrezig or Avalokiteshvara. So, the mantras, everyone's heard of the mantra, because but most people don't know it's connected with that Tibetan deity image for deity yoga practice. So the mantra, of course, is Om Mani Padme Hum. Zen also has chanting and mantra in a sense. Mostly, like in every Zen, regardless of the school of Zen, they're chanting the Heart Sutra several times a day, usually in the morning, evening, at least. In the last line of the Heart Sutra can be recited as a mantra. Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhisoha, which is gone, way gone beyond to the other shore. Soha. What does that mean? Gone, gone. Not just gone, just gone, gone, way gone. So we were chanting that. Gate, gate, paragate, paratam, bodhisattva. So there are two different ways to look at mantra. We have a short time. One is, okay, it's this, like in Tibetan Vajrayana Buddhism, this, or maybe in other mantric traditions, the sound actually has a kind of quality, and you're absorbing that sound, and it's beneficial and has qualities that you absorb by reciting it, etc., which is fine. It's a good practice. In Zen, sound and mantra and chanting takes on a different mode. So in Zen practice, when they recite the Heart Sutra, starts, Makahanya, Harmita, Shingyo. So, and then you're chanting with, the whole idea is to completely give yourself to the sound, completely unified, again, awareness, sound. I'm not like thinking about, am I doing this? No. Sound, self, everything merged together. One's giving oneself completely in that unified moment and becoming the sound that one is chanting. One isn't thinking like, I have to do this exactly. No, one's whole being, whole voice, body, being, awareness into the sound. It's kind of the approach to chanting in Zen. This is also within the use of Tibetan mantra, but Tibetan mantra has kind of maybe you might say different levels of practice to it. So like I used to, yeah, so that's the short answer.
Perfect.
We can talk more next time. But sometimes this isn't talked about enough or described enough, that being unified with the sound is the point of chanting mantra in Zen. That's why it's, at least in my mind, it might sound a little critical, but chanting in English is completely irrelevant. We're not trying to know in that discursive, analytical sense what we are chanting. Not too important. To have a feeling connection with what's chanted, and then maybe with the Heart Sutra especially, and really be able to give oneself completely with that sound. That's really important. And of course, to study it separately, that's also important. But to study it, think about it while you're chanting, don't do that. That's a really terrible thing to do. That's sort of like trying to read the driving manual while driving. You'll just crash. It's a waste of time. Yeah. So, and again, I think I mentioned last time, chanting the Heart Sutra in Japanese, Makahanya Haramita Shingyo. No one in Japan knows what that means. It's not Japanese. It's Japanese pronunciation of Chinese pronunciation of Sanskrit. They didn't even know what it sounded, even in China. There was it's not a translation exactly of, it's how it kind of phonetically.
Transliteration.
Yeah, it's a transliteration got different accents to it as it went to these different linguistic cultures. So there's no need to translate that into English at all. Yeah, just study it separately, but chant it as it is. English is just not a good chanting language. It's very, anyway, thank you, everyone.